everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Gibson from Kaleidoscopes and Polka Dots. Today I wanted to start a series, and it is a series on Gilmore Girls. So Gilmore Girls is to me what Harry Potter is to a lot of people. It carried me through really dark times in my life, times being the key operative word, and so I've rewatched it a lot. And when they came out with the sequel, or with the 8 years later, 1 year in the life thing, I was really excited and really nervous. Because I feel like sometimes when we get so caught up in the fandom, we have these high expectations because we have come to fall in love with these characters. Like, it's bigger in our mind than it is in actuality. So somebody who is not as big a fan as I am will not see what I'm talking about, will not feel what I feel when I watch the show. So I thought it would be good for both me and for the show and for you guys. We can talk about it in the comment section. So I thought it would be fun to go over things that have already happened in the show. I have a feeling that there will be a part 2 or part 3 or part 4. It depends. Depends on how it's received and how much we can talk about it in the comment section. So let's start with things that I just loved about the series. Other than the obvious, which is the main characters, Lorelai and Rory, I loved Dave Krakowski, I'm not sure. Lane's love interest. He was so good with her. He was so good as a character. I never went back and looked up what he did after he left the show, but I so desperately wish that he would have stayed on the show longer, and maybe they would have gotten married instead of Lane getting married with the other handsome fella, which I like as well, but I much preferred Dave. They just had a chemistry that wasn't exactly replicated with her second love interest, her husband. I don't know, I know that they were supposed to, but I didn't see it. Did you agree with that pairing? I'm not too sure about it, to be honest. I liked him alone. I liked her. I loved her. I wish she had a bigger part in the show, because she was just such a good character, such a dynamic character. And they were supposed to be best friends, but somehow Paris made it on a lot more in my mind than Lane, which was a shame. I loved that they kept her around throughout this whole series, but I do wish that she were around more often. I loved that she was into music. At the time, I was really into music. I totally identified with her. She was such a doll. You know, sometimes when you really want something, you kind of end up really seeking it out, and when you don't get it in the same doses as you're wanting them, you kind of assume that it's not as prevalent or easily accessible as it really is. Does that make sense? I feel like that might be the situation with Mia and Lane. Now, on that same note, I loved Paris. Paris was, at first, really hard to swallow. But over time, I just fell in love with this woman who is so intense and so adamant about having things her way. Because I think we all have a little bit of that in ourselves. You know, that is alter ego that we may all have, but we can't all express in such an eloquent way and in such a passionate way as Paris did. Paris just cracked me up so much. I think the first time where I really learned to like her was the day where they went to see, what was it called? I don't know. But I loved her there. When the ditzy flirts leave, and it's just she and Rory, and she turns to Rory and says, you know, I really like this. Your mom's really cool. This is really fun. Or something to that effect. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. I just melted. I thought, oh my God, the walls are crumbling. I can't wait to see more of her. That's exactly what I needed then, because she was being so mean to Rory. Of course, there are times where she becomes just as critical as Rory again, and we kind of had issues. But in the end, I just really liked her. And I mean, come on, her love life was hilarious. She went from being a virgin to losing her virginity and telling the whole world on C-SPAN, I think. That was hilarious. hilarious. And then going after a certain kind of fella, you know what I'm talking about? That was just disgusting, but so funny. And then breaking up with Jamie, that was another funny thing that happened. Paris was a doll and I loved her. Another set of characters that I wish we had more of was, I think in the last season or in the 6th season, when Rory befriends 2 girls that are kind of artistic and ditzy. One of them is Jessica Jones. She was so good. I fell in love with her there, and she just knocked it out of the park. Was so clever, so witty, so on point, just like she always is. She's just such a good actress. I love her. And then abruptly she disappeared. Did anybody just feel like they got the wind knocked out of them when they disappeared? Because I did. Moving past characters that I wish we had more of, let's talk about all of the awesome quotes. The first one that came to mind was one from Luke. When he was getting divorced, Nicole sent over her attorney, and his attorney was like, Mr. Dane, we need to know the name of your attorney. And he's like, I don't have one. I don't want one. I don't like attorneys. And the guy was like, come on, we all have them. Tell me what yours is. He was like, you want to know mine? You want to know mine? Mine is Dewey from Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Now, one that choked me up and stayed with me throughout the whole of the series is when Richard, I think, has a seizure. He's on his hospital bed and he's trying to tell Emily about all of the things that she should be aware of, like the will, if he's not around to take care of it, who she should contact, you know, taking care of her. And Emily says, no. Don't you tell me that, Richard. I demand to go first. On a lighter note, Rory Gilmore's line to Logan Huntsberger. They've just left some event. Then he proposes that they should go out for ice cream inside of the cafeteria at Yale. Like, there's this little monologue that Rory's going on about. Logan says, well, yeah, I know the guy. He spends time with my folks or something. And she turns to him, she's like, you lead a magical life and you don't even know it. I thought, oh man, that is so sweet and so Rory. I feel like I've been blathering on forever, but I am sorry. I just get so excited about Gilmore Girls. Please share with me some of your favorite parts. Like I said, I will probably do a part 2 or part 3 or part 4 of this because I could honestly talk about this forever. Anyway, okay guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I will see you very, very soon. Bye.